5 years later, a mafia boss finds his dead wife working as a bartender in a dark bar. The glass slipped from his hand before he even realized he was shaking. It shattered on the marble floor, the sharp crack echoing through the silent room like a gunshot. Every man present froze instantly, but not one of them dared to speak. Because they had never seen him like this. Lorenzo Moretti, the man who didn't flinch, didn't hesitate, didn't forgive, was staring at a photograph as if it had just come back from the dead. And in a way, it had. "Where did you get this?" His voice came out low, strained, almost unrecognizable. The man standing across from him swallowed hard. "Chicago, sir. A contact sent it. Said it looked important." Lorenzo's grip tightened around the photo. The image was grainy, dimly lit, taken inside a bar. A woman stood behind the counter, pouring a drink, her hair tied back, her face partially shadowed by neon light. But there was no mistaking her. Not for him, not even after 5 years. Elena, his wife, the woman he buried, the woman he watched die, or at least, the woman he believed he had. "That's not possible," someone whispered. Lorenzo didn't answer, because deep down, he knew. It wasn't impossible, it was her. 5 years earlier, Elena Moretti had been everything Lorenzo wasn't. Where he was feared, she was loved. Where he ruled with control, she moved with kindness. And somehow, she had chosen him. He never understood why. Maybe that's why he held onto her so tightly. Maybe that's why losing her had nearly destroyed him. The night she died, everything had gone wrong. A car explosion. A fire that swallowed steel and glass like paper. They said there was nothing left to identify. But Lorenzo didn't need proof. He felt it. The emptiness. The silence. The way the world kept moving while his stopped. And from that night forward, Lorenzo Moretti became something colder. More dangerous. Because a man with nothing left to lose, becomes something no one can control. "Get the car ready," Lorenzo said quietly. The room snapped back to life. "Sir, Chicago is. I know where it is." His eyes didn't leave the photo. "And I'm going." The bar was exactly what Lorenzo expected. Dark, crowded, loud enough to drown secrets. The kind of place where people came to forget who they were. Or hide who they used to be. He stepped inside, his presence cutting through the room like a blade. Conversations dimmed, eyes shifted. Something about him made people instinctively step aside. But Lorenzo noticed none of it. Because he was already looking for her. Then, there, behind the counter, pouring a drink, laughing softly at something a customer said. Alive, his breath caught. For a moment, the world blurred around him. 5 years of grief, rage, emptiness, all crashing into one impossible reality. She was right there, not broken, not burned, not gone, alive. Elena. The name barely left his lips. She looked up, and for a second, just a second, their eyes met. Time stopped, recognition flickered, then disappeared. Her expression shifted, into something polite, distant, like she was looking at a stranger. "What can I get you?" she asked calmly. The words hit harder than any bullet. Lorenzo didn't move, didn't breathe. "You don't know me," he said. She frowned slightly, studying his face. Something passed through her eyes, something almost like confusion. But it faded quickly. "Should I?" she replied. The silence between them was suffocating. Lorenzo felt something crack inside his chest. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. She was supposed to run to him. To remember. To feel what he felt. But she didn't. She just stood there, waiting, like he was nothing. "I think you've had enough to drink," she added gently. He let out a quiet, disbelieving laugh. "I haven't had anything yet." "Then maybe you should start with water." The concern in her voice, it was real. But it wasn't for him. Not the way it used to be. And somehow, that hurt more than anything else. Her name wasn't Elena anymore. At least, that's what they told him. "Her name's Lena," the bartender next to her said cautiously. "She's been working here for about 4 years. 4 years. Which meant she had been alive all this time. While he mourned her. While he buried her. While he became someone she would have never recognized." Lorenzo's jaw tightened. "What happened to her?" he asked. The bartender shrugged. "Showed up one night. No past. No story. Just needed a job. No past. No story, no memory. Lorenzo looked back at her. Lena, Elena, his wife, standing just a few feet away, completely untouched by the life they once shared. He stayed. Hours passed. The crowd changed. But Lorenzo didn't move, and slowly, she noticed. "You're still here," she said, wiping down the counter. "So are you." A small smile touched her lips. "I work here, right?" She studied him again. "You don't seem like the type who sits around all night. You don't seem like someone who forgets everything about her life." Her smile faded. Something in the air shifted. "Careful," she said quietly. "You're starting to sound like you know me." "I do." She shook her head slightly. "No, you think you do." Lorenzo leaned forward. "Your name is Elena Moretti." Her hand froze mid-motion. "You used to hate coffee but drank it anyway because I liked it." Her breathing changed. "You cried during movies you pretended not to care about." "Stop." "You left the lights on because you were afraid of the dark, even though you never admitted it." I said stop. Her voice broke. The glass in her hand slipped, crashing to the floor. The same sound. The same echo. Like 5 years ago. Her hands trembled. Her eyes filled with something unfamiliar. Not recognition. Not fully. But something close. "What are you doing to me?" She whispered. "I'm reminding you," Lorenzo said softly. She ran. Out the back door. Into the cold night air. Lorenzo followed. "Lena. Elena. Wait." She stopped, turning sharply. "Don't call me that." Her chest rose and fell rapidly. "I don't know who you are, but whatever this is, it's not real." "It is." "No." She shook her head, backing away. "I built this life. I know who I am." "Do you?" Silence. Her eyes flickered with uncertainty. "That night," he continued, stepping closer, "there was an explosion." Her breath caught. "I remember fire," she whispered. "You were there." "I remember pain." Lorenzo's voice softened. "You didn't die. Then why don't I remember you?" The question hung between them. Heavy. Unanswered. The truth came slowly. In fragments. In pieces that didn't want to fit together. She had survived. Barely. Someone pulled her from the wreckage before it was too late. But the damage. It took everything. Her memory. Her past. Her identity. She woke up as someone new. And someone made sure she stayed that way. "Who?" Lorenzo demanded. But the answer came before anyone could speak. A gunshot echoed in the distance. Then another. And suddenly, everything made sense. This wasn't an accident. It never was. The attack came fast. Too fast. Lorenzo barely had time to react before chaos exploded around them. Men closing in. Weapons drawn. The past. Catching up. He grabbed her hand. "Stay behind me. I don't understand. You don't have to. Just trust me." Something in his voice. Something deep, familiar, made her hesitate. Then, she nodded. They ran. Through narrow streets. Through shadows and noise. And for the first time, she felt it. Not fear. Not confusion. But something else. Something pulling her toward him. Something that didn't need memory to exist. They reached an abandoned building. Safe. For now. She leaned against the wall, breathing hard. "Why are they after me?" "Because you were never supposed to survive." Her eyes widened. "And you?" she asked. "Because I never stopped looking." Silence. Then, "You really loved her, didn't you?" Lorenzo looked at her. "I still do." Her gaze dropped. "I wish I could remember." He stepped closer. "You don't have to." She looked up. "Then why does it feel like I already do?" Footsteps echoed outside. Closer. Louder. No more time. Lorenzo reached into his jacket, pulling out a small object. A ring. Her ring. "I kept this," he said. Her breath caught. "I don't know why, but it feels like mine." "It is." Voices approached. Weapons ready. The final moment closing in. And then, she stepped in front of him. Without thinking. Without hesitation. A choice. Not from memory, but from something deeper. "I don't know who I was," she said softly. "But I know what this feels like." Lorenzo's eyes widened. "Elena, don't," she said gently. "Not yet." She took his hand, and for the first time, he didn't feel like he was holding onto a ghost. He felt like, maybe, just maybe, he had found her again.